Today on Happy Cooking with Yvonne Douglas, we're going to cook up a really delicious dish. It has pasta, shrimp, Brussels sprouts, bacon, and some cheese. So stay tuned and let's get cooking. Okay, so welcome back. So the very first thing you need to do is to cook your fettuccine noodles. We're using fettuccine noodles. You need to make sure that you cook them for approximately 13 minutes. Next thing you need are around 5 strips of fully cooked bacon. And I kind of chopped mine up here into little tiny bacon bits. And almost done with that. So it looks something like this. And we're going to need that. I'm going to cook that up, but I'm going to cook that up separately. Another thing you're going to need is a small pot, and you need to probably put about 1 inch of water. Why? Because we're going to use this vegetable steamer here. And this vegetable steamer is super important when you're cooking Brussels sprouts because you have to put this in the pot, and then you're going to get your Brussels sprouts. You want to cut off the end and take the first layer off of the Brussels sprout and then clean them. Make sure you clean them really well. And then you're going to place all your Brussels sprouts in the vegetable steamer, just like that. And if some of the leaves fall off, like this leaf is about to fall off, just discard them. You don't need them. It's okay. And I'm just going to put the rest in here. You want to put a lid on it, and you're going to put on probably like a low flame. And you want to kind of steam that, cook that up for 10 to 15 minutes. So we'll be back. Okay, so we're back. So a couple of things I want to show you before we continue cooking our meal is when you're cooking pasta, and like here we're doing fettuccine, make sure that you always boil your water first, and when it's boiled, you'll add just a little bit of salt, and you'll also add a drop of olive oil. And that's what I like to do. Why the olive oil? Because it kind of helps from the noodles so they don't stick. So it helps the noodles not stick to each other, and usually my pasta comes out really, really good, really awesome. These fettuccine noodles, make sure that you also stir it every once in a while. Give it a good stir, and then you want to cook them for 13 minutes. So mine, I'll probably have a couple more minutes to go, and then we'll be back and we're going to cook up our bacon. So stay tuned. Okay, so it looks like our pasta's almost ready. Before you drain it, you want to make sure that it is done. So you just get a little noodle here. You can make sure it's cool. You don't want to burn yourself. And I like to just give it a taste test. It's been 13 minutes, but for me, I'm going to cook it about 1 more minute. All right. So stay tuned, and we're going to get back to cooking. Okay, so we're back. We're going to cook up our bacon now. Our pasta is done. So let me put on this flame here. I'm going to put it on a low flame at first. I need just a little bit of butter. That's a spoon. I need a knife. So I'm going to add just a little bit of butter. It's like less than a tablespoon, probably half of a tablespoon. And I'm going to make sure that my pan is smeared with all that butter, even on the sides. Okay, let that melt. All right. And like I said, my flame is a low flame. I'm going to put it to like a medium flame right now. And I'm going to add my bacon. Now this bacon is already cooked. This is cooked bacon, but I'm just going to kind of heat it up. I want my bacon bits to be kind of crispy, all right? So I'm going to do that first. So that's going to be cooking in the butter. And I'm going to check on my Brussels sprouts. Looks like they're steaming nicely. Now the way you check Brussels sprouts, if they're done, you poke a fork through it, and if it's soft, then you know it's done. So these are not done yet, and it's only been about maybe 5 minutes or so. So this probably needs to go for another 5 to 10 minutes. And you want to toss them around a little bit because you want to make sure that the ones that are on top, it's evenly heated with the ones at the bottom. So you want to kind of switch those up the best you can. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect. I'm gonna put my lid back on there and I'm gonna let that cook for another 5 to 10 minutes, so stay tuned. So we're back and I can see that my bacon is pretty much done, so I'm gonna get a slotted spoon and I'm going to get my bacon bits and I'm going to lay them on this paper towel here. Looks good. Smells really good too. I love bacon. All right. And another thing, let me move the camera so you can see. One more thing too that you'll need to do is I got some small cooked shrimp, tail off, peeled and deveined right here. This is a Market Pantry brand. You can use any brand you want. To defrost it, you need to put it in some cold water and let it sit for about 10 minutes or so. You do not want to rinse it underwater. So just let it sit in some cool water for about 10 minutes so it can defrost. All right, so when we come back, we're gonna start making our Brussels sprouts. So let me show you really quickly the Brussels sprouts. Look at that green. Look how beautiful when it's steamed. It really, like, the color really pops. You want to keep tossing them around. Remember, you want the ones that are at the bottom, bring them towards the top, and the ones that are at the top, try to bring them towards the bottom. Do a little test. I'm gonna poke my fork. Yeah, they still need to cook some more, so it looks like they have another 5 minutes or so to go. And when we come back, then we're going to cook them up, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're back. So let me tell you that in this pan here, I put 1 tablespoon of butter. I added just a little bit of the bacon fat, and I got 1 teaspoon of minced garlic. And I'm just cooking that garlic up in here. I'm going to make sure that my flame is on low. And I'm going to add some Italian breadcrumbs to the base of my pan. This is how I like to make my Brussels sprouts. And I'm going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese to the base, and a little bit of salt and pepper to the base. And then I'm going to get my Brussels sprouts that are done. They're nice and soft. And I'm just going to add it to my pan here. You want to make sure that your Brussels sprouts are nice and tender. And I'm going to get I'm just going to roll it around in the Italian breadcrumb mixture with the butter. You want to make sure you try to coat yours. I'm going to add just a little bit more butter, probably another tablespoon right now, adding it to the base. So I like mine really buttery. You can stop after the 1 tablespoon. It's really up to you, but I like mine to be just a little bit more buttery. All right, looks good. So my Brussels sprouts are done, and now we're gonna arrange our dish, so stay tuned. All right, so let's start making our dish. So I'm heating up my pan here. I'm adding probably about a tablespoon or so of extra virgin olive oil. Gonna heat that up in my pan. I'm going to add a little bit more minced garlic, probably another teaspoon. Okay. Stir that up with my spoon. This is how I'm going to start it off. Okay. And these are the beginnings of something really delicious. So, okay. Now I'm going to add, where's my knife? I'm gonna add two tablespoons. It's gonna seem like a lot, but 2 tablespoons of butter. But don't forget, this is gonna be your main sauce for your noodles and your whole dish. So that's 2 large tablespoons of butter. Yeah, this is definitely not low-cal. All right. Just like to stir that up, melt my butter. Looking good and feeling fine. All right. I think that was a song. Actually, it was a song, Lady Gaga. That's right. All right, so my butter is almost melted. Nice, very good, yum. Now I'm going to add some lemon juice. I'm using half of a lemon. I'm gonna squeeze it in my lemon juice squeezer. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna get some lemon juice here. This is probably from half of a lemon. And then I'm gonna add my pasta. Ooh, just dump it in there. I need my tongs, the indispensable cooking tool. Very important that you have the correct tools. Stir that pasta in that butter sauce that has some garlic and lemon. So good. Really coat every single bit of that pasta. Very important. Awesome, yum. All right. And then I like to season it now with a little salt and pepper. I add a little extra pepper because I love pepper, so you don't have to add that much pepper if you don't want to, but I think the pepper really adds it, adds that flavor that really makes the dish, so. All right, so that's been, now I'm gonna get my bacon bits here. I'm going to just toss those in there. Stir it again with my tongs. And just look at that so far. Look how good that's looking. My flame should be on low right now. Now I'm going to get my shrimp. So when we come back, I'm gonna put my shrimp in there, so stay tuned. All right, so we're back. I'm gonna add my shrimp. How much shrimp did I add? Well, that really is up to you. I mean, some people like a lot of shrimp in their dish, some people don't. So this is just like, I don't know, it's probably half of that bag that I just showed you earlier. If you wanted to use more, you could. Okay, oh, yummy. Looking good. Okay, well that's heating up a little bit. Let me clean this up just slightly, because I can't stand a mess. All right, so it's on my low flame. I'm gonna add, just put the flame up just a little bit. Okay, just a little bit. And I'm gonna still stir that. All right. Great. Now what I wanna do is I'm gonna add the rest of my Parmesan cheese. Now there was 1/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese, and if you remember I kind of sprinkled it into the Brussels sprouts, the base of Brussels sprouts. So now I'm gonna add the rest of it to the dish here. Give it a good stir. I mean, how could you go wrong with anything with cheese? You know what I mean?
cheese always makes everything better. Yum, yum, yum. All right, see, easy. And it smells really good. All right, now I'm gonna add my Brussels sprouts. And you just wanna dump the whole thing in there, including, even if you have a little of the leaves that fall off the Brussels sprout, that's okay. Kind of gives the dish some character. That's how I like to view it. All right. Gonna give that a good toss. Oh, look at that, wow. Looks so good. Fun little dish. I like to call Doug's shrimp and Brussels sprout pasta dish. Yum. Wow, look at that. Got one more thing to add, and when we come back, we're gonna add that. Okay, so I added some parsley flakes. I cut up some parsley flakes and added it to my dish. I'm just gonna sprinkle the top with some more salt, pepper and a little bit more salt here. And that's it. Voila, a delicious meal. And when we come back, we're gonna have a good taste test, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're back, and now we're gonna have our little taste test here. So let's see. Looks really, really good. Get my tongs here. Fix a nice little plate. Oh, look at that. Oh, it looks so good. Get a little couple of extra shrimp here. Wow. I just love how the Brussels sprouts look. My mouth is so watering right now. Awesome, that looks so good. I'm gonna top it with just a little Parmesan cheese that has been grated. Look at that. Wow. That looks so good. Look at that dish. So good. All right, let me give it a good taste. Let's see what this is, how this tastes. Oh my God. Holy moly. Oh my gosh. That is so good. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, you have to try this. You have to try this. It was fairly easy, wasn't hard, and it tastes so good. So, thank you so much for watching Happy Cooking with Yvonne Douglas. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I would greatly appreciate it. And also, happy cooking. Bye-bye. And don't forget to like this video. It's good. Taste it. It's so good.